Hello everyone, Jimmy is with you as always. Welcome to the second part of the video. I hope you liked the first part. Do not forget to leave comments under the video. I will definitely read them. Well, let's get started. First story. In the second part, from the user Blank Cosmic, let's listen her. I'm a 30 female with 7 younger siblings, 25 male, a 21 male, and girls 22, 20, 18, twins 17. Our large family is close. We've been through a lot together, strife, arguments, but we've overcome them all. Others around us look to us as an example of how close siblings and parents should be. We're also big on tradition and our culture. My brother, Mark, 25 was the cheapest sib among us. He would always ask for money from our parents and us. God knows what he would spend it on, since he kept coming back to ask for more. He never contributed anything to the household, even to buy groceries. Really selfish. Last year, Mark got engaged. The date for the wedding was set for May. We were all so excited to be a part of the wedding. We joked about attire, the playlist for the reception. He asked our parents for help paying for the wedding. They agreed to pay more than half of the price, since it would be the first wedding of the household. We later learned that he dropped at least $8,000 of his own money into the wedding. Turns out he wasn't as broke as we thought. One day, we all sat down to talk about wedding plans. As we were joking around, Mark gave us a list of things that would be done for the wedding. He started mentioning catering, venue, colors. Pretty tame overall. We nodded in agreement since everything seemed normal. Then he told us that Olive, his fiancée, already picked out and purchased a dress. We as a family didn't see the dress, and still don't know what it looks like to this day, and weren't there with her to try dresses on. We missed that moment with her. The women of the family, including my mother, were bummed that we weren't there for the dress fitting, but we assured ourselves that whatever dress was picked was perfect. It was their wedding after all, so it shouldn't be too bad, right? Mark continued to list off more things about the wedding that he finalized. The venue he chose was a 4-hour drive, several states from our hometown, somewhere we've never been. The officiator was someone we didn't know. We didn't know him either. The list of things that were set grew and grew. We were more and more troubled. Then, Mark dropped the bombshell. OP, you and your partner will be in the bridal party. Sam, my other brother, was also in the party. We asked, what about your other sisters? Oh, they're just gonna be in the reception part. Why aren't they going to be in the main wedding? That's a decision I'm making. What is the actual reason? Why exclude your siblings in the white wedding? I saw someone else do that at their wedding. Figured I could do that too. We were shocked, unsatisfied with his answer. I was in the wedding with my other brother, but not any of the girls? The rest of the family was visibly upset. Where'd this come from? I'm standing up for my siblings. Yes, it's his wedding, but if my siblings won't be a part of it, I won't be either. I would include my own family at my wedding. Am I wrong for that? Author add the additional information. I would like to offer some clarity about what some of the comments have been saying. Not to justify myself, but to explain the culture behind everything and why we're upset. 3,000 character limits are fun. In my culture, it is custom for the family of the man to plan for and run the wedding. All members of the immediate family are involved in major roles, including the siblings. This is true for all male children. If any members of the family are excluded, it is a sign of animosity or hatred. Excluding family members from the wedding party is like a middle finger to them. There has never been a wedding in our extended family where none of the siblings or parents were involved, unless there was some sort of malice behind it. My parents' wedding anniversary included all my siblings and myself in the bridal party. All the cousins we have got married with their families, even traveling and paying for everyone to fly to another country to attend and participate in the ceremony. Excluding the younger girls would send a message to the rest of the extended family that there is something wrong between all of us. From my observation, I haven't seen anything happening between Mark and the other girls. We all get along just fine. We even live in the same house together. This is why we were insistent on the reason behind why he wasn't including the rest of the girls. It goes against our tradition, and we see it as a sign of resentment. Author, update the story. This serves as an update on my previous post that I made weeks ago. It seems that, because of recent updates, there are more details that I need to include. To summarize, I'm a 30 female with a large family, including 2 younger brothers and 4 younger sisters. I made a post previously stating that my brother, Mark 25, was going to have a wedding in May. He only wanted me and my other brother to be in the wedding party and my other sisters to be excluded. There are 2 reasons as to why I deleted the original post. Shame. It wasn't fun being called an AH by a lot of people. I felt bad. I didn't like the criticism, and the emotions I felt at the time drove me to do it. I knew that there was something more to it than what I was writing. I posted too early, and from the new information that has been brought up, I decided to make another post. There was a paragraph that I included about Mark being stingy with money. I explained that everyone in the family got along, but Mark was always asking for money, never paying it back, and participating in frivolous spending. I didn't realize until now that this paragraph would have been more relevant. In the original post, I explained that he paid for half of the wedding venue, so it was understandable that he would exclude people from the wedding and go against traditions of including the whole family in the party. He told us, "I just want a small wedding, I don't have to follow traditions." We were angry and threatened to leave the wedding entirely. Reddit called me an AH for this. Initially, I would have agreed if it was just this information. But turns out he lied. He did not contribute a single cent to the wedding. Not for the venue, not for the catering, not for the DJ, nothing. In fact, my mother, Carol, paid for most of it. While the future in-laws paid for the half of the venue, he said he paid. Carol funded the clothes, the food, the MC, 75% of the venue, and is still pouring thousands of dollars into the wedding for more things. Mark is insisting on demanding more things for the wedding, which includes excluding some of our family from the wedding party. Meanwhile, he's not paying for the party's dresses or suits. Once again, he is expecting the rest of us to foot the bill while he sits back and doesn't plan his own wedding. He won't let Carol invite people she wants to, even though she's paying and her guests wouldn't break capacity. Carol can't take anymore. She's stressed having to do this herself. I've seen her and my father cry out to him. It doesn't even seem worth it anymore. Ada, what I think about this story? Seeing how involved a family is in a wedding ceremony, how parents can bring guests of their choice, and how families have their own separate room, my guess would be Indonesia. Indonesians have strong emphasis on familial relationship, so family members need to be involved in a wedding. It is also common for wedding to be measuring competition for parents to show off to their relatives and friends how lavish they can throw a party for their kids' elopement, which is why the parents are usually willing to fork off money to pay for it. Wedding culture in there is on a whole different level. Let's check the user comments. I'm very big on open your wallet or close your mouth with weddings. Everyone has an opinion, but unless you are helping pay for it, shut your mouth. If you accept their money, they get to have a say. It's not like they handed him a set amount of money and said, "Do what you will." It was very apparent the money had attachments that he's reneging on and still wants more money. I don't think she's an asshole for feeling left out and seeing her mom be stressed. The second story from the user Time Travel Paradox. Let's listen. I have been married to my husband for 12 years, 13 together, 3 kids. He proposed 6 months after most got together and told me he knew by the second date. He is indeed very practical and rational. He is also very caring, kind, and supportive. Just really a wonderful partner, except for one thing. He doesn't get jealous, like at all. By that I mean if someone flirts with me, he will just chuckle and move on, sometimes leaving me deal with them alone. When his friend's father spent the entire night of his son's wedding hitting on me, he just said, "What a loser," and moved on. I even had an ex write a poem and post-it tagged me. Still, he just said, "Wow, cool." And when I say, "How come you are not jealous?" he says, "What would I? I trust you." Last week, I reached my boiling point. A month ago, there were some workers transferred to our department, among them was my ex. We broke up amicably, he moved to a different country, and we kept a very shallow contact, like once a year for a happy birthday text. When I went home, I immediately told my husband and he said cool, and then started talking about STH else. I snapped. Not my proudest moment, but I said, "Are you serious? I just told you, I am working with the ex I stayed with for years and you don't care." He said, "What do you want me to say? I know you and I know you are extremely loyal. I know you will never cross any boundaries. I completely trust you. So why would I be jealous? Now I know I will never cross any boundaries. We never had that issue in our relationship. I am crazy about my husband. He is the one and only. I have spent my life showing him how much I love him because I really do. But being jealous, I see it as an expression of love, and him being so cold and indifferent is making me resentful, and I hate it. It just feels like he has taken me for granted. I am hurt, and he has been more affectionate than usual, but hadn't referred to that argument again. How do I navigate these feelings? It seems silly, but I am hurt. Author, update the story. Hello again, so I got a lot of messages, advice, and yes, insults. It is okay, I see why. By the way, I just had a baby, and someone told me this is important. It might have added to my insecurities. I followed your advice and talked to my husband. I started by apologizing to him, and he said it is okay. I just want to understand where this is coming from. So I explained. By jealous, I didn't mean him getting controlling or violent, or even throwing a fit. I understand I expressed myself poorly. I meant I wanted him to show he cares enough to have a back-off attitude when SB hits on me in front of him. Or just ask, how is it at work? Him not caring. I took it as him taking me for granted and not loving me, or finding me attractive. He was shocked. He laughed and said, "How did you jump from me trusting you to me not loving you?" Lol, he then explained his side. He said a lot, but here is the gist. I don't get jealous because I feel it is disrespectful to you. I don't say anything either because I keep thinking you don't need my protection. But I see your point and that I will change. But I am not jealous because the notion of you betraying me is just foreign. I know you and I know how much you love me, and believe me, that is such I will not take for granted. There were many instances that cemented my trust in you. For example, when 1 month after we started dating, I saw you turning down a guy who looked like a movie star, and we haven't even talked about being exclusive yet. I didn't know he much saw that. When you stood by my side when I lost my dad. When you sold your dear car because I needed an urgent surgery. Anytime you initiate sleep, I am singing inside. The sweet notes I find randomly in my bag. The point is, I feel secure and comfortable. Do you have any idea how rare that is? I work with a lot of guys. I hear horror stories while there is me, who can't wait to finish to go running back home to be with you. I told him about how he feels when I sometimes get jealous. He just laughed. He said, I always find it cute that you think I can see and be with someone else. I am all yours, body, soul, and heart. This man. He then said, I had an ex who kept on flirting with guys and then eventually cheat. It was nerve-wracking. I was on edge, anxious, worried. Now I am at peace, so me trusting you is me loving you and being at peace. Knowing that we can be ocean apart, I know you will respect us. Now, let me ask you about this ex. Have you had any inappropriate conversation? Any one-on-one lunches or dinners? Any lines crossed? And I said, no, and no OFC. He just smiled and said, I knew it. But I can see how you have been not yourself lately, and I am sorry if I did anything that makes you doubt how much I love you. I will work on that, I promise. Then he got to the part that I was avoiding. He said, given how and where I was raised and how my parents have been, he isn't that surprised I mistook jealousy for love. For context, my parents have been together for years, but should have divorced years ago. It is a constant cycle of love or hate relationship. Dad used to even beat me and then say that it was because he loves me so much and is worried about what kind of person I will be. So we talked about therapy. I will be going next week. He also suggested a couple counseling because he wanted to learn how to be a better husband. We also talked about different love languages, future plans. He called Ma, his mom, and asked her to take care of the kids while we went on a date. We had dinner and then had ice cream. When we reached our home, I was laughing hard at his dad jokes. It kinda his thing. So he suddenly hugged me long and said, welcome back, love. I missed you. I melted. So now he is sleeping with his head on my lap. I wanted to thank you all for your advice, kind and even harsh words. I needed them. To be honest, I am still scared of therapy because I know how ugly it is going to get. Maybe this is why I have postponed it for so long. But my family and I deserve to have my own best version. So if that means slaying some inner demons, then I'll do it. Thank you again, everyone. What I think about this story? She's working on herself, and that's the important thing. Still agree who was worried about him apologizing and him thinking he wasn't doing a good enough job showing her he loves her. That's a bit much, but I hope therapy helps her and counseling helps them. Let's check the user comments. When she was pregnant, my wife got extremely sad, like weepy, because I used the basmati rice in a dish instead of jasmine. She was growing a human in her, so some emotional swings seemed acceptable. Thank you to everyone who was with us today. I was very glad to see you. Unfortunately, this is the end for today, but we will definitely see you tomorrow in a new video. I love you all. Bye-bye.